Hi everyone, Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone's having a nice Monday afternoon. It is Monday, but that means we're going to hang out with Josh Planos here for a little bit, and we're talking tips for making sure that you're watching out for your wallet. And another timely topic this week, as always, from Josh Planos, and that is kind of secure ticket buying and just making sure you kind of have some overall awareness. There is a big event coming up in 2 weeks that some folks in the local area might be heading west to, out to Vegas. Again, that's the Super Bowl, I think, 58. Again, the Chiefs and the 49ers. And Josh, Super Bowl, obviously one of the biggest events of the year, one of the most watched TV events of the year. Actually, it is the most watched TV event of the year. But with all that attention, all that fanfare, this is also a big event for folks who are looking to maybe make a few bucks and make a few bucks off fans. We're just trying to have a good time.
Without a doubt, Bill, this is probably the marquee sporting event of the calendar, and it commands a certain amount of money. I mean, I believe the average ticket price is north of $5,000 for this event. So if you are allowed to, or if you're able to provide a ticket for someone, you can make a considerable amount of money off of it if the ticket is real. If the ticket isn't, you can also make a considerable amount of money, which is what we have come to expect this time of year. We see a lot of fake tickets to marquee sporting events because of the digital nature of ticketing these days. Every barcode more or less looks very much the same. And as a result, you really don't have the guardrails that in the past, at least a physical copy had to be provided to you ahead of time. So we have actually heard of folks who would go to sporting events and get turned away at the door because the barcode that they were sold or the ticket that they were sold doesn't exist at all. So to go as far, west as Las Vegas for this experience and then to be turned away right before the experience is about to start is a pretty devastating experience. And sadly, it's one that at least a handful of consumers have come to expect this time of year.
Yeah, and this again, we've heard of this example, like you said. I remember because we've talked about this topic before, but just a small time concert, you have this issue, let alone an event again like the Super Bowl. Which again, I've never purchased tickets to the Super Bowl, so I'm not exactly sure how that all works. But I would guess a lot of those tickets have probably already been sold. So if you are looking to purchase tickets for the Super Bowl, you are probably buying them online off a third vendor or from a third party entirely, someone selling tickets on their own. So again, what can people do, Josh, to kind of just to check their boxes, cross their T's and dot their I's?
Without Bill, at this point, you are really working with brokers. You're working with resellers. I believe there are probably some options out there from official ticketing providers. In this case, that's Ticketmaster. That's, of course, our advice is to purchase from that venue or that official ticketing provider whenever possible. But being as it is, this ticket is a hot commodity. There are a lot of tickets that have already been sold, if not all of them. You want to make sure that you're considering your source, right? Knowing the difference between a professional ticket broker and a ticket scalper is going to be helpful. Doing a little bit of research on that person in question, if they do have a company or a business where they are selling tickets or reselling tickets. Ideally, they will be a member of the National Association of Ticket Brokers, which, if you recall, when last time we spoke about this, the NATB members offer a 200% purchase guarantee on tickets. That is absolutely something that you are going to want if you are spending tens of thousands of dollars in some cases for these tickets to marquee sporting events. Looking up that seller on verifiedticketsource.com is a great way to confirm whether or not you're buying from an NATB member resale company. But also doing, your research just as you would on any product or service is going to be best practice. You don't want to be left, putting a $5,000 payment up to chance, which unfortunately is what a lot of folks are walking into these days.
Yeah, and again, unfortunately, we do these try, make people aware, but we will hear stories come the week of the Super Bowl and after in the days following of people who unfortunately have fallen victim to these types of things. But at least, like you just mentioned, if you are buying from someone like Ticketmaster or someone who's in that association with that refund policy, even if somehow you get a bad ticket, then you can at least get your money back.
I like to think of navigating online payments these days as adding layers of security to your transaction. It might not ever be foolproof, but the more layers you stack, the more protected you are. So that brings us to payment methods that we talk about seemingly every week. Using traditional payment methods is another security blanket to consider. Credit cards come with protection. Non-traditional payment methods like debit cards, like wire transfers, like cryptocurrency in some cases, those do not. Those are incredibly risky. And so if those tickets are fraudulent, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to ever get your money back. So again, you want to work toward the direction of the most protected transaction you could possibly have. What does that look like? Using a traditional payment method, double and triple checking that URL to ensure that you're on an HTTPS website versus an HTTP website to ensure your information is encrypted and it's far less likely for your information to ever be compromised. Buying from reputable retailers, right? You're stacking items such that your transaction can be as secure and as safe as possible. Another thing that we want to alert the public to is be wary of advertisements this time of year, not just for tickets, but for merchandise. If you're looking to commemorate your team's run to the championship, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for unlicensed merchandise, which if that is of interest, pursue it. But typically that also leads you down corners of the internet that you don't want to go, or less secure corners of the internet. So if you see something on your social media timeline that looks like it's curated content for yourself, it's always best to type in that URL yourself, such that you're not just willingly going to wherever that ad is taking you. Chances are it might not be taking you where you want to go. So make sure you're in command of your digital journey by avoiding some of those advertisements that you'll see in the coming weeks.
All good information, Josh, as always. So again, for a lot of people, it may be, and again, you don't even necessarily have to be going to Vegas for the Super Bowl, which a lot of people will. It could just be local parties, local type things that are going on that there could still be some unsavory characters trying to do some unsavory things. So again, don't just take all this information. Well, I'm not going to Vegas, and I'm just going to go down wherever. This is going to be, again, like we said, a big event for these folks through the next several weeks.
And listings as well. I know that there are at least some who are going to Las Vegas and hoping to stay off the strip. That's all fine and well, but you want to make sure that that listing is actually real, right? We do see this from time to time where listings are impersonating real addresses. One way to get a lot of people excited about a property is to display a property that looks like something you wouldn't find anywhere else at a price you wouldn't find anywhere else. You want to make sure that there are reviews, that there is proof of concept, that there's proof that that listing has been used in the past. So that way you're not showing up to someone's residence that is not actually listed or available for a stay, which is actually things that we have had reported to the Better Business Bureau.
And if you are going to Vegas, again, just to be there, again, Vegas is always, generally speaking, a good time. But again, there's going to be thousands of people descending upon Vegas over the next several weeks. So again, just more opportunity for these, again, unsavory characters to try and, again, not even just ticket scams, but, whether it be pickpocketing or skimmers on ATM cards. I guess, what are some overall, maybe general best practices for folks if they are planning on maybe flying to Vegas and to at least be in town for the event?
Yeah, just some general, best practices involve, not disclosing sensitive information to folks. Be that as it may, there are some who will take a photo of a physical ticket, post it on their social media channel, and then that ticket will be lifted or repurposed to scam somebody else, right? So, I mean, even something as simple as, getting excited about the event that you're going to, getting excited about the flight that you have booked to go to the event. Be excited. That's a wonderful thing. Don't disclose that information publicly or in a way where that information, your payment information, your personal information can be used to perpetrate a scam or a crime. Typically, that information needs to be kept under wraps best as you can. You want to make sure, right, that you've got your wallet on you, of course, and are having an enjoyable time. I mean, really, it's most of the tips and best practices we have involve kind of the online ecosystem, which hopefully folks will have navigated by the time that they arrive in Las Vegas. But all this is to say, this is a fantastic time to be a sports fan, and folks should enjoy the experience. But you want to make sure that at the very least you are signing up for the experience that you ultimately receive. And one way to do that is, of course, by stacking these protective measures that your online experience can match, the physical experience you hope to have.
Yeah, the layers of security, as you say. And again, this is supposed to be a fun event, and for a lot of people it will. But again, hopefully, everyone can just take some very simple steps to, again, add those layers of security, like you said. So that way, hopefully, we talk in 2 weeks after the game, and the BBB's got this headline of, zero, scams, or no one swindled any money in Vegas over Super Bowl weekend, which, we would like to see that headline. Will we see that headline? Probably not, though.
We can always hope.
We can dream. That is right. All right, Josh. Is there anything else you can think of top of your head? Anything, again, involving whether it be ticket buying, hotel renting, or anything, just kind of involved with potentially traveling out there that you want to let folks know?
Just have a baseline understanding of what that market rate is for the product or service that you're hoping to secure. Even just having a simple understanding of what the average flight is to Las Vegas is helpful in a lot of respects. If the price you're seeing is 75% off that listed rate or that average rate, something should be off. So many jump into this scenario and find that $100 ticket to the Super Bowl. That is not a real ticket. And you would know that if you knew what the average price was for the tickets that are available. So just simply knowing what the standard rate is, knowing what the refund policy on some of these experiences are. Some people are going to go to Las Vegas and hope to have a good time outside of the event itself. Know what the refund policy is on some of those excursions. You want to make sure that if you're signing up for the experience, that you ultimately have it and aren't left holding the bag because you didn't know that there wasn't a refund policy at all. So, do a little bit of research on the product or service that you're hoping to secure, and you'll be a lot better off.
Yeah, I think the old adage, if it looks, sounds too good to be true, probably is, again, applicable in this case. So, Josh, again, thank you, as always, for your time today and your expertise. It is always valued and welcomed.
Thank you for having me.
Again, that was Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau. Again, just some tips and tricks, and again, expert advice. Again, if you happen to be headed to Vegas for the Super Bowl, which again, if you're not, then you can sit back at home, flip it on. It's going to be on CBS. So we will have, again, the Super Bowl that Sunday evening. So again, I hope everyone enjoys it and has a good time, and just hope for a good game and for some good commercials as well. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and for watching again today, as always. And again, as always, to keep up with all the latest news, weather, and sports, keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online. Until next week, folks, hope everyone has a nice Monday.